2. Mr. Jacobs, today was a special day. The audience came in here and was captivated.
Yes.
They saw young people sing, drop knowledge, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it felt like we could make this world a better place.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what transpired today and how significant this entire situation is.
When I spoke with our artistic, actually education director, he's an artistic associate here, but now he is our education director, and we talked about what the show would be this summer. We thought that, our young people are affected about all of this craziness that's going on in America, the massive shootings and the pandemic and all. They are thinking, and they all see it on their parents and their grandparents' faces of how they deal with life in this world that we live in. So We Dream was a catalyst to try to get people to just think about how we really treat each other in this world. And as I said at the end of the program today, and a child should teach them. Many times the adults' attitudes and morals and responses have been shaped by society and news and their friends and colleagues. And sometimes, and most times, as you saw the younger kids in the show, there is still some innocence there. And so we thought that, of course, it had to have the elements of singing and dancing and acting, because that is what they've been learning for these 5 weeks here. But the message, if we're going to do them and have them in the theater, our message for We Dream should be something that will evoke and help other people to think about how they think and how they move and treat each other.
Life changers, game changers, defining moments, summer programs, experiences that we take with us for the rest of our life.
Yes.
What you're imparting to these young people is something they'll be able to look back on.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about this legacy? And again, I mean, it's almost 25 years, and they'll have something they can take with them for the rest of their lives.
What inspired me to found this organization is the like of diversity and inclusion. As a professional, I was a professional actor here and had been grooming and mentoring other fairly young adult actors, but I did not see that institution, that effort, that focus, that attention on some of these artists of color who did not have opportunity like I was having. But I was in these theater institutions, and there was very few people who looked like me. Most times I was the only one. I didn't know that was this destiny of tapping me on my shoulder, that I would be the change, as Gandhi said, of what I wanted to see in the world. But one day it was very clear to me what I needed to do to see the change I wanted to see. And I got to work almost 23 years ago, and I was determined, hell or high water, to make an effort to cause more diversity on the cultural landscape. And I'm just so very, very grateful to God and to a lot of very, generous people that saw to it that an essential institution like Westcoast Black Theater Troup stands strong in this beautiful cultural community, and that these kids that sometimes get looked over or fall through the net get the opportunity that you saw them have today at Stage of Discovery. I'm just so delighted, so very happy.
We look at places like Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago, and around the country, and we look at Sarasota, and we see something. It's hard to even put in words, but the program here and the opportunity here and the foundation that they're getting, that you guys are providing, talk about that, and just the fact that there's a lot of talent. We saw a lot of talent in here today, and it's in Sarasota.
My experience, I have 9 brothers and 1 sister. It's 11 of us. And my mother loved us. She did everything. And my father did what he could to make sure we were provided for. But here I was, one of their children, walking around in that house as a theater institution. And I didn't even know it because of lack of exposure and not knowing what I was because I had not seen it ever. Could have caused me to miss my calling, and I see West Coast Black Theater Troupe as my calling. So that's what happens to all of these talented kids that you saw on this stage. If they don't have exposure, if they don't have opportunity, if they don't have a space where they can come and be focused on, and where they can be stars, where they can step out front and embrace the beauty and the uniqueness of who they are and the art form that is a part of their culture. These composers, such as you saw, Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni, Stevie Wonder music, and the culture that they are a part of, that's how they learn. And if they're not exposed, whose job is it to expose them? So that's why I am just so very happy again that this institution is focusing on those essential things that these unique and particular demographic of young artists need. They come in here and they feel like they're home and they're not at somebody else's house, but they are home. And that means everything to me, to their parents, and to our students.
There's an iconic mural outside. I pass it almost every day.
Okay.
And when I first started coming to Sarasota to build a working relationship with Channel 7 next door, I remember seeing that mural.
Yes.
The faces and the personalities and the icons there. And then you look at and you contrast it with these young people here.
Yes.
And they're able to, and they gave us Still Waters, and they gave us Lean on Me, and something. Just talk about that next generation, and you're able to bridge that gap and teach them who they are, so to speak.
Yeah. It's our story. And every, what can I say, race, culture, people are responsible for propagating and passing it along. It is not for any other people or race to tell African American kids about the Stevie Wonder and the Berry Gordy and the Aretha Franklin. It is Nate Jacobs' responsibility to continue to make sure that they know what shoulders they stand on. So the young singers that you saw, they know there was a Stevie, there was an Aretha, there was a Gladys Knight. But that's for us to do. It's not for other. They telling their history. They are celebrating the greatness of their people. And such, it is our responsibility to celebrate the greatness of our people, lest they won't know they had greatness, or they have greatness, and the shoulders that they stand on. And that is the purpose of this institution. My mentor told me years ago, he said, other institutions may do black shows, black musicals, black plays. He said a lot of them do it because of finance. They make good money. There are some shows out there with a black theme that makes good money. Your purpose always is to propagate and celebrate the culture and the music and the writings of your people. And I started off my journey like that 23 years ago. I don't look at the other theaters in town or anywhere in the nation or world to see what they're doing. I have never done that for the years I've been doing this. I look inside my heart and decide, okay, what stories do we tell now? Who do we celebrate now? Who do I need to inform the world, the community, and even our undergrowth in the summer, our kids? Who do we need to celebrate and expose them to this time? And then we focus whatever they do around that knowledge. Our people perish because of lack of knowledge. I heard that in church. And you know who's responsible to impart that knowledge? The parents, number one. And teachers are a big part, sometimes ministers, and the theater, because that's almost like church. People sit down in their seats and they close off the world and they listen to the message. And I thought these kids did a phenomenal job with the message of We Dream Today. Brought like tears to my eyes several times. And I've seen it quite a bit, but they're just remarkable kids. So I love sitting and seeing it's truly happening. It's not a facsimile thereof. Because at the beginning of my journey, it was a lot of patronizing Nate Jacobs with the conversations of more diversity, but I could look in the eyes and feel in the room the passion nor the interest was there. And I'm so glad that we were fortunate enough to find the right people in this community to see that this sort of institution was essential. So now they're calling us all over the nation, the Miracle Theater, professional black theater all over the world. Are we getting ready to, in a day to start rehearsals for the National Black Theater Festival, which is a national event that we are a part of, but they call us the Miracle Theater because nowhere in the country do predominantly white communities support black institutions on this scale. And so I was like, thus let it be. All I know is that it's by time and it's essential to a broader bridge to the arts. I'll just say that, a broader bridge to the arts that is more inclusive.
Final thought, this particular venue, state of the art, it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
The fans are right on top of you, so to speak. There's not a bad seat in the house.
Yeah, we strategically planned it that way. When I started in this building, it was just empty, and so we brought folding chairs in here. But my instinct was I wanted people close because that's just me as an artist myself. I like to feel the audience. And so we just started off in that intimate setting and we just stayed with it. So when the major renovation came about, we wanted to keep the essence of that, just enlarge our space so that we can do more variety of shows in the space. But the intimacy, yes, is extremely important. Everybody knows us as the intimate, personal touch theater. So I wanted it to transfer into the renovation. So I'm happy that we were able to work it all out.